Hello, very good evening. This is Pooja Singh and we are back with another amazing session at Vajiram and Ravi. What we are going to discuss today? Well, we always talk about how you should cover the PYQs thematically or the areas that are important. But exactly how? Today we are going to know that. And we have expert mentor with us today, Birendra sir, who is going to discuss that how you can analyze the PYQs to incorporate them in note making and answer writing. I would like to call sir in the frame. Sir.
So good evening to all of you. So today we are going to discuss one of the most important part of our preparation, that is how to analyze the previous year's question. Okay, because this area is the darkest area in the UPSC preparation, because everyone, talking about the importance of the previous year's questions, right? Even the toppers, they are like on YouTube, you will find many videos where they are emphasizing to refer the previous year's questions again and again and again. But after talking with so many students, right, I have mentored, I think, more than 1,000 students in my entire career. And after talking with them, I have found that this area, that is analysis of the previous year's question, is something which is disturbing many students, because we are not sure what is the step-by-step process. Right? So that is the reason I thought, let's start with this process, how to basically we can progress towards analyzing the previous year's questions. Along with that, what should be the strategy for notes making? Because students, you need to understand one thing: analysis of previous year's questions, notes making, they are not you can say entirely a different or separate route, right? You have to club both the process, because previous year's questions are going to supplement your notes making, and without notes making, your analysis of previous year's questions would be incomplete. So that is the reason I thought of conducting this webinar, so that I can share a step-by-step process. Apart from that, I'm also going to show you the live example, the live example of the number of questions which we could have, solved or attempt in 2023 mains. Because the examples, the analysis of previous year's questions, I have done till 2020 and 2021 mains, right? Starting from like 10, 20, 30 years. So you will basically you will get the idea that even the questions which the UPSC has asked long time back in 90s or maybe in 2000, right, they are still relevant. I'm going to show you the live example of that. So without wasting the time, let's begin with the process. And I would request to all of you, please sit with a pen and paper so that you can make a note of everything, right? Because notes making is very important. Otherwise, you may not be able to apply these steps after this discussion, right? So let's start with this. So the first thing is what we are going to discuss in this entire session. What is a roadmap? Okay. What all aspects we are going to understand, we are going to see. So the first thing which we are going to discuss, that is the one strategy for everything, even for mains and prelims. So many students are talking about, there has to be a separate strategy for the mains and prelims. But again, I never ask many my students to divide the strategy for prelims and mains unless you are very close to the prelims, like before 2 months from the prelims, you can have a separate strategy. You can focus mostly on the facts, right? Or the facts which are which require multiple revision. However, in the coming months, you should not have a separate strategy, right? So I'm going to show you how one strategy for everything, like for prelims as well as for mains. Second is common problem that we are going to discuss and issues with the analysis and notes making. I'm going to make you realize what mistakes you guys are committing. Okay. What how basically you are what is that particular, because every student in this who is preparing for this exam, they know the basic idea about everything, like how to prepare, like how to analyze the previous year's questions, how to make the notes. But the step which I'll be discussing here is very crucial, and many students are missing that. Okay, then the third point, or the third part which we are going to discuss, how to analyze and make notes. Then the fourth one is how are PYQs helpful to deal with the question. In this part, student, I am going to show you how many questions you could have attempt in 2023, and the same logic or the same process you can apply for 2024. You will see the live and you will be surprised. Trust me, you will be surprised, because I'm not going to show, like I'll show you how the questions are directly linked, not even indirectly. Directly how the analysis of previous year's question can help you to deal with the question in the mains as well, right? Or even in the prelims. Then how to link the previous year's questions with the current affair. Now student, this part, how to link previous year's questions and the current affair. No one is talking about this, right? Every student, they are reading the magazine, they are doing the previous year's questions, but they never thought of integrating the approach. Right, so that is the problem. The UPSC gives us the shock, like by putting up or by framing the question, which are you can say the interlinked, right? So all these things which this is the agenda for today, right? So basically, in the short mains program, which for 2025, which is already started, this entire mains program, student, we have designed considering the previous year's questions. There are multi-level mentorship, right? There are multi-level discussions, like there are going to be pre-test discussion. In pre-test discussion, basically, I'm going to tell you what exactly we are doing. So basically, there are pre-test discussions, right? So in pre-test discussion, our team basically discussing what should be the approach for the mains answer writing, right? Because this is the time when many students face the problem. They don't know what to read, how to basically make your answer more valuable, right? So this is exactly what we are doing in the pre-test discussion. After that, we have post-test discussion. Post-test discussion, we are basically taking to make you guys, aware of the technique, how to score good marks using the same content, right? So basically, there are a lot of things which we are discussing, like how what kind of introduction you could have written in your answers, which could have fetched more marks, flowchart, what kind of flowchart, diagrams you could have included. So the post-test discussions are there, right? Apart from that, we have a toppers discussion every month, where the toppers, they will be talking about how you can score good marks in GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3 and 4. So there will be a topper discussions every month. Apart from that, we have Sajal sir. He is taking the discussions every month, where he talks about the templates which many toppers have used, and they have cleared the this exam in 2023. So you will have the opportunity to access those templates through this program. And we have also launched a scholarship for this program for first 30 students. So the link will be provided in the description. You can click on the link and you can enroll and you can avail the benefit of the scholarship, right? So let's begin with the main agenda of the day, right? So see, so first we are going to talk about common problems among the students, right? What is that particular common problem which we commit in our preparation, right? So the very first question when it comes to the analysis of previous year's questions, the first problem which comes is what to analyze in previous year's questions and for how many years, right? What to analyze means many videos I have seen, you should try to find out the trend, right? So one thing which is important to analyze from the previous year's question is basically trend, right? Apart from trend, what else have you thought of, right? So just apart from the trend, now we are blank. Blank means what else can we identify? So, but some students say we can find out how the GS topics are linked with the current affair topics. That can be find out, that is okay, fine, right? But student, try to understand, Right. In this part, GS and current affair, right? I'm not really sure what exactly when someone says you can find the link. You can find the link for a particular topic. But if I ask you, would you be able to apply the same logic in all the subjects? Then probably you will face the problem, right? So this is the second thing. Apart from that, I don't think so I have seen any video or any mentor talking about this is like, apart from the trend and interlinking, there are other aspects which we need to extract from the previous year's questions, and I'm going to show you today, right? So what is that? Right? So this is the first common problem which we face. I'm going to give you the solution of each and every problem, and I will make sure that now onwards, right, you will be perfect in the notes making, analysis of previous year's questions, as well as the answer writing. You will not have a single doubt what are the value addition, what are the themes. You might have heard the theme word. Nowadays it is very common, right? So what is that theme which we need to extract from the previous year's questions? How to extract that themes, that is what I am going to discuss and I am going to show you. And one more important thing, student, all these discussions, right, all these parameters we are already discussing with the students in the Telegram channel or one-to-one when the students comes for the mentorship who are enrolled in a Sure Shot 2025 batch, right? So if you have any issues personally, you can visit office, and you can talk to us. We will give you the live demo. The mentors are there who are going to assist you in that. Then the second problem which we face is, when should one start making the notes? This is a very common problem, right? Many students start notes making from day one, right? Some students start making notes after, once they start preparing for the mains. Some students start making the notes when they read the current affair from the magazine, or when they watch the videos, editorial analysis, right? But again, for me, everything is same, right? Like whether you are making notes from the beginning, whether you are making the notes during while watching the discussion, or whether you are making the notes while reading the magazine, right? So it's all the same thing, and it will not help you much. The reason I will tell you why. Because until and unless you know what could be the possible question UPSC can ask from this topic, right? How this topic is relevant from the UPSC perspective, right? From prelims as well as from mains perspective, right? I don't believe in making the notes, because I know what will happen. If you are a fresher, you will start writing everything down in your notebook, and after a month or two you are going to throw that notes. Even if you are a veteran and you have no idea what to on which topic you have to prepare the notes and to what extent. This is a very common problem. I have heard from many students. They ask me the question, sir, like, what should be the length of my notes? To what extent I should be making the notes, right? So if you don't know the relevance of the topic from the exam perspective, how are you going to make the notes? Right? If you do not have any clarity about the demand of the question from that particular topic, I'm sure about it, you will not be referring your notes in your life, right? So this is again a very important point to be considered. Then notes making, to what extent should be preparation lengthy, irrelevant, etc. Then the next is linking previous year's questions with the current affair. Now again, linking previous year's questions with current affair means, just ask yourself, student, like in your entire preparation, when do you actually start referring the previous year's question, right? I am sure many of you will say, once the prelims is over, I'm talking about the mains previous year's questions, okay, not for the prelims. So many of you will say, maybe once the prelims is over, or maybe when we start or when we begin with the mains preparation, right, that is in the month of September, October, because वही चीज बताई जा रही है मार्केट में कि you should start answer writing in the month of September and October, and then you should refer, before answer writing you should refer the previous year's question, right? Now let me ask you one thing. If you are going to start answer writing from the month of September and October, how many months do you think you will be able to devote for the answer writing? Not more than 3 months, because anyway after December or January you are going to prepare for the prelims. You will be concerned about the prelims, right? So if you are thinking that 3 months is more than enough for answer writing, then please, student, try to understand 3 months are not enough. Answer writing is more than just picking up the pen and start writing on a piece of paper. There are a lot of things in the answer writing, right? Like analysis is there, value addition is there, structuring is there, right? How to write the introduction and conclusion, it is there. How to use a flowchart, draw map in your answers, that is important, right? And all these things need practice, because our team, right, Sajal sir, he will be sharing that like his template for the answer writing, but to what extent you will be able to apply that, that is the question, and that is going to come along with that is going to come only with the practice, right? However, when it comes to the current affair, just give me the reply. When you prepare for the current affair, what are the sources you refer for the current affair? Like either newspaper, right? Videos, online videos, and then your magazine, right? If I ask you, what are the important topics you have covered in the last month? How many of you would be confident in giving the answer? How many of you will be confident in sharing your views on any particular topic, right? The answer, 99% of the answer will be, we are not confident, we have forgot what we have read, but we have wasted so much of time, right? So how to link current affair with the previous year's questions is the most important exercise which you need to inculcate in your daily routine, right? So I'm going to talk about this as well. So this is everything. Now, next part is we are going to discuss with how we are going to analyze. So I am going to start with step-by-step process, and please, it is my request from all of you, right? After watching this video, at least trust me, trust this process and practice only one topic, and then discuss the notes which you will be preparing on the basis of these steps or the process with your friends, with your mentors, or with anyone, and then share your notes, and then you can realize the importance or the significance of your effort, right? Because I know, because I'm going to prove it today, just by using this one process, one step, how can you excel in the mains as well as in the prelims, right? And this is not something which you might not have heard of. However, the problem comes is when it comes to the implementation, right? We know everything. We are smart chaps, right? We know everything. At least after spending like 6 months or a year in the UPSC preparation, we are quite well aware of all the steps and all the process. But when it comes to the implementation, we are not implementing whatever we are learning from our mentors, from faculties. We are not implementing it, and that is the problem. And anything you do in your life, student, try to understand you need to practice. Without practice, it is not possible to clear this exam, because personally I have been receiving the messages, right, on a Telegram, personal messages, that though the process was little bit lengthy, but ultimately we are happy, right? This is what many students have told me. Initially it took time. Obviously anything you start in your life, it will take time, and that is the reason practice is required to reduce that time, right? So don't worry about that, right? So chalo, let's see what are the first step. Be ready with it. The first point is analysis. Instead of syllabus, go by subject and topic, right? What is the when I say instead of syllabus, go by subject and topic, I'm not saying here that you should not look at the syllabus, right? But the problem at looking at the syllabus is, when we look at the syllabus, right, we all know that the syllabus, UPSC syllabus, it is very generic, right? So many students find it difficult to break the syllabus. So the first problem we face is breaking down the syllabus into parts, right? And if you see the syllabus of history, there are just 3-4 lines written, right? 3-4 lines means 3-4 paragraph in just 2 lines. Similarly in polity, right? So after looking at the previous year's questions, you will not be able to identify what are the important areas for that particular which we need to analyze from that particular topic. So the first process is not like you should be knowing the syllabus. Okay, I'm not saying you should not know. You should be knowing the syllabus, because there are many topics which are overlapping, right? Sometimes UPSC asks the question on, suppose for example, cropping pattern, right? Cropping pattern can be asked in the environment. It can also be asked in GS paper 1. So your points should be, which you will be writing in your answers, should fulfill the demand of the question. So if it is a part of geography, you should write the point from the geography perspective. If it is appearing in the GS paper 3, you should be writing the points according to the environmental perspective, right? So that is the reason knowing the syllabus is very, very important, so that you can think differently while analyzing any topic. So the first step should be in the analysis of previous year's question is basically the topic. Pick up the topic. Okay, pick up the topic. Now, pick up the topic means what it means when we say pick up the topic. Now here I will give you one very conventional or traditional approach what many students are following, right? Just let me tell you, I'll tell you, and let me know how many of you agree with this step. So basically most of the students, what they are following is, what they do the basic reading, right, from the conventional sources, right? Like for example, polity from Lakshmikant, geography from NCRTs, right? Ancient India from R.S. Sharma, right? This is how. So after you read the basic sources, what exactly do you do? Either you move on to the second subject, right? Or some students basically After this, they practice mock test. Practice mock test for prelims, MCQ based, right? This is what you do. Once you are done with the mock test, then this could be the third step, right? This is the second step, I will say. This is the third step, that is starting with the second subject, right? The same process will happen again after completing this subject. You will start with the MCQ, or maybe some students reading both at the same time. Like in the morning they are reading polity, in the evening they are reading geography, right? But this entire process goes, right, until your syllabus is completed, right? Until your syllabus is completed. Maximum we refer the previous year's questions of the prelims, not the mains, right? Especially if you are a beginner in the preparation, because हम पहले से ही perception बना लेते हैं, right? कि why to look for the mains previous year's questions? Because anyway we are not going to, we will not be able to attempt. So why should we look at the previous year's questions? This is the perception we are building, right? हम लोग खुद ही बना लेते हैं, and that is the problem. So this is a very common traditional approach which we follow, right? After that, if we get the time, only if we get the time, we join any mains test series, right? And in the mains test series, then we start referring the previous year's questions, right? When I say referring the previous year's questions, what do? We only look at that. बस हम लोग देख लेते हैं कि from which topic the previous year's questions are based on, right? Or some students try to write the answer. Some students try to write the answer of the previous year's questions. And then we go for the test. We write the test and we get the feedback from the evaluator and the mentor that content is not rich. Value addition is missing in the answer. Flow chart is not there. Diagrams are not there. भाई कहाँ से होगा ये सब चीजें? If you have not practiced for answer writing or the previous year's questions, how are you going to basically have good content in your answer? Because you have not trained yourself on these aspects. You have directly gone to write the test without practice. The only thing which you, the only preparation what you have done is reading the conventional book. And you think your syllabus is completed. But let me tell you, student here, reading the conventional book without referring the previous year's question is not even 20% of the preparation. Trust me about this, because I'm going to show you, right? So this is what we are doing while referring, when we say we have referred the previous year's questions, right? So to answer or to address these issues, I'm going to tell you what you should be doing rather, right? So the first step in all this is basically, the first step is definitely the basic reading, right? Like basic reading, like NCRTs, your classes notes, or what, like if you have done coaching, then you can revise it, right? Or you can pick up some conventional book and you can just quickly finish it. Finish this, okay? While doing all this, while reading these conventional book NCRTs, strictly, I do not suggest making the notes, right? आप notes मत बनाइए अभी. But some student says, unless we write something, we don't understand the concept. So to address that particular problem, what you can do, you know, whenever you read anything, suppose for 30 minutes you have completed, in 30 minutes you have completed one chapter. Pick up a pen and paper and just in 7 minutes, write down everything you can recall in what you have read in 30 minutes, write down in 7 to 10 minutes and throw that paper. Right? This is the first process. Now after this, you can start with the prelims previous year's questions and you can practice, right? Not like in 1 or 2 days you have to complete all the previous year's questions. Like every day you can solve 10-15 questions from any particular topic, right? And you can make the notes from after solving the previous year's questions, you can simultaneously at the same time you can prepare the very short notes of the topic, which topic you need to revise, right? Then the most important part comes here. Before you start with the second, or at the same time, what you can do, again you have to now start previous year's questions of the mains, right? This is the time when you have to pick up the previous year's questions of the mains and you have to start analyzing. And this process, trust me, you gotta be very serious when you refer the mains previous year's questions. Otherwise, you will not be able to make proper notes, or you will not be able to make your answers more valuable. Okay, so this is the process from where you have to start, right? So the very first thing which you need to identify, suppose you are reading history. Suppose you decided to pick up the history, and in history you wanted to revise. Suppose this is an example, right? So you can basically pick up the very first topic. However, I'm going to link the previous year's questions with 2023 mains paper as well. So I am picking up the topic that is tribal movement, right, in India. Now, just tell me one thing. If I ask you guys, or if I ask anyone, if you have to prepare this tribal movement topic, what you are going to do? So many students will ask, spectrum, right? Many students will say, we have classes notes, right? Many students will say, we have topper's note or PDF, right? So this is what, this is going to be the answer. Very few students will say, sir, we are going to first refer previous year's questions. Now I am asking you, how many of you have actually thought that the previous year's questions should be the first step? Because in the first phase of preparation, you already have covered the basics. Remember? आपने basics तो पहले ही पढ़ लिया है. So the second phase should start with the mains previous year's questions. The reason is, if you are going to pick up these sources, again you will be confused what to study, how to make notes, to what extent the notes should be made, what examples, value addition I have to incorporate in my notes. All these problems again going to be in front of you, right? So that should be the first question, previous year's questions, right? Now, I'll go back to the first slide where I was discussing the problem you are facing. The very common problem is, or question rather, sir, कितने साल के questions we need to analyze? For how many years, right? Of previous year's questions we need to analyze. Now, let me ask you, student, why are we referring the previous year's question? First, we need to understand this, right? The reason why we are referring the previous year's question, for example, we are starting with tribal movement in India, right? Why we are referring the previous year's questions? So that we know what are the various aspects UPSC has asked in previous year's questions, right? What has been the trend of previous year's questions related to this topic? Related to this topic, right? However, as everyone is saying, 10 years of previous year's question is more than enough, right? This is what everyone is saying, because UPSC has changed the pattern. UPSC has changed the pattern. Has UPSC also changed the subject? Answer is no. Subject is same. Only pattern is changed. Topic is same. The way UPSC asking the question has changed. Right? So, this is a very silly question when someone asks, how many years of previous year's question should we refer? Right? Because I am going to give you live example. I am going to prove those who make this kind of a statement. Last 10 years of previous year's questions are more than enough. You should not look at the old questions. They are irrelevant, static in nature. UPSC has changed. Okay, I am going to show you, I am going to prove it, and I am going to prove it with the evidence. So now the question is, I'll see. So the topic is tribal movement. So if you are going to refer the last 10 years of previous year's question, there is not even a single question from the tribal movement. There is not even a single question. Now what will you do? You will either assume whatever we have read is more than enough, or spectrum is more than enough, or my notes is more than enough, because anyway this topic is not relevant. UPSC has not asked the question in last 10 years. Why UPSC will? So it means this topic has lost the relevance. Maybe it is relevant from the prelims perspective, but not from the mains perspective, right? This is यही आप लोग सोचोगे ना, but let me give you a shock here, right? So basically, what I will do, if I do not find any question in 10 years, what I will do, I will look for last 20-30 years of previous year's questions. If I have to go further, I'll go 40 years back, and I will continue my research unless I get to know about every possible themes relevant from tribal or peasant movement. Because in 10 years I haven't got anything. But I cannot leave this topic like this, because I know this topic is important. So what if UPSC has not asked the question in 10 years? It may ask after 5 years, or maybe next year. And this is what UPSC did, right? So see, this question, this is what I have, tribal uprising, pick up. This is the second step. So first step is choose the topic. First, do the basic reading. Then in the second phase, pick up the topic. right? If you are doing polity, pick up the first topic. If you are doing modern history, pick up the first topic. Whatever the topic, it doesn't matter. But this should be the process. Pick up the topic. So I have picked up that tribal uprising, right? Now see, these are the two questions UPSC has asked. One in 2003. I hope you can see the question. Student, can you read the question? Is it visible to all of you? Can anyone reply? Is it visible? Can someone confirm whether it is visible or not? Okay. Discuss the character of major tribal uprising in British India in the 19th century. Discuss the outstanding tribal uprising against the British rule during the 19th century. What is meant by un-British rule in India? How did India nationalists react against it? These are the two previous years questions I have found in how many years? See, one question was in 2003, another question was in 1994. So after, now in the step 2, what is my approach? After reading these two questions, I will pick up a pen and paper. Rather than start writing the answer of this question, I will make the themes from these questions. So basically what I will do, see. This is my second step. From those two questions, these are the themes I have prepared. Do I need to think about these themes apart from the question? No. This is the question: nature and motivation of tribal uprising, specific examples of major uprising, significance and challenges, definition and meaning of un-British rule, specific policies, practices considered un-British, examples are must. See, student, try to understand what examples are must, right? Then responses and strategies of Indian nationalists, then impact of nationalist movement against British rule. Now, I got the idea what is relevant for UPSC from this topic. Now I'm satisfied कि भाई इतना कर लूंगा, so I'm done with this topic. Now I will pick up a pen and paper and I will start making the notes. Now your notes are going to be the best notes, because these notes are going to be based on the analysis of previous year's question themes. These are the themes which you basically hear everywhere. Everyone is talking about the themes. But how to extract them, how to prepare them, these are the themes. And this is what we are suggesting in the short programs. Short Mains program, where personally every day I'm teaching the members or the students how to extract the themes, not only from the previous year's questions, also from the current affair. I'm teaching them live, right? So that is a benefit. So Short Mains program is not only about the answer writing, it will change the entire learning perspective. Okay. So this is the point where you will be starting with the notes making. Now just ask yourself, student, if you are going to make the notes on these topics, on these themes, let me ask you, has anything left here? Now these themes, just tell me one thing. Do we need to read anything from the prelims perspective separately or the mains perspective separately? If the UPSC has to ask the question in the prelims, it will pick up from here. And it has. It will pick up from here. And it has. So This is the answer of that question or the problem which we discussed in the first slide. Second benefit of this, right? The second benefit of this, the value addition, right? Because now you are confident that these are the themes which I have to prepare holistically. So why I can't have the value addition in my notes? And what will be the value addition in these notes? These examples, right? Then these examples are the notes. And these will serve as a value addition, right? So after making these notes, now see what will happen. These themes we have prepared from the previous year's question, which was asked in 1994 and 2003, right? So all those who are saying we should only refer to previous year's questions of last 10 years matters, now you will realize that is not true. That is basically not, you can say, authentic judgment, right? Because see this question, UPSC has asked in, I'm sorry. Now let's attempt a question asked in UPSC Mains 2023. See. How did colonial rule affect the tribals in India? And what was the tribal response to the colonial approach? Right? This is the question. Now just tell me, after preparing the notes on those themes, would you be able to attempt this question or not? I'm going to show you so many examples. I will show you, I can prove it. Every year, at least 10 to 12 questions directly you can solve from these themes, and 15 questions directly, plus by applying some logic, you can deduce your the answer or the content, at least 15 questions. This is the first example. Let's move on to the second example. Then the second example I have picked up is basically the topic personalities, right? This is GS paper 1, right? Personalities, Mahatma Gandhi. So there was many questions in last 10, 15, 20 years. Ideally what I have done, I have basically personally prepared the themes of last 40 years of the previous year's questions. Because for me, it has been very, very helpful. Because through these themes, I was able to, attempt at least 14, 15 questions in every paper. ऐसा लग रहा था कि this, like I have seen these questions somewhere, right? My students, they were very confident when they were writing the answers, right? So basically, now see Mahatma Gandhi. On the personalities on Mahatma Gandhi, see how many themes I have prepared. Almost like 9 themes I have prepared. Only on Mahatma Gandhi. Because like I said, I am referring the previous year's questions of last 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? So I have got so many themes. Now see this question. It was asked in 1988, right? Question was, discuss the Mahatma Gandhi's concept of basic education. How did Tagore differ from it? Right? And this is the themes which I had already prepared before 2023 exam mains. Mahatma Gandhi's concept of basic education in contrast with Tagore. Contribution of Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore in the social and cultural life. Right? So these are the themes I have prepared. Now see, how it was helpful in 2023? See this question. What was the difference between Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore in their approach towards education and nationalism? Direct question hai, right? Nationalism is only one word which was added. And I'm sure many of us know the answer of this question. But education is ditto, same to same question has come, right? This is the second question. Now, let's move to the third topic, that is geomorphology. From geomorphology, again, these themes I have prepared from geomorphology. See, you can read it: assessment of soundness of large river, types of irrigation, characteristics of rivers of the peninsular India, delta formation, why no formation of deltas, issues of fresh water availability in India, causes of depleting groundwater resources, all these themes, right? So this theme, particular theme, issues of fresh waters availability in India, it was asked in 2015. India is well endowed with fresh water resources. Critically examine why India still suffers from the water scarcity. 2015 का question है, right? Now, what I have done, again I have made the theme. And student, I'm telling you, all these themes I have prepared back in 2020. You will not find a single theme from the question after 2020. Not even a single theme. I have not even looked at what was the question UPSC has asked in 21, 22. But still, I am able to decode these questions. 2015 का question है, and from that I have prepared the theme, issues of fresh water availability in India, right? So I have made notes on all these themes, right? When I was revising this topic from the mains perspective, geomorphology, what did I do? I hope you are able to link. I did basic reading. In the second phase, I picked up the geomorphology topic and I looked at the previous year's questions. I made the themes, right? And after making the list of these themes, I made the notes. Third phase, third step. Now, look, let's see if we have any question from this area. See. Fifth question in GS paper 1. Why is the world today confronted with the crisis of availability and access to fresh water resources? This is the third question. Direct question I am showing. No, I am not even saying indirect. Direct question, right? From the previous year's themes only, right? Now, let's see what is the next topic. Next topic is art and culture. In art and culture, I have analyzed the questions, and from 2014 question, in 2014 there was a question on to what extent has the urban planning and culture of the Indus Valley civilization has provided inputs to the present day urbanization. So basically, this question says the demand of this question is how the urban planning of Indus Valley civilization is still relevant in the contemporary time, right? So from this question, basically we can predict, at least this is what we can predict, right? Or we can apply the simple logic. If the question can be asked from urban planning, definitely the question can come from the society as well, right? So religion as well, right? Like, can we trace our society, or do we have any roots, or how the society in the Vedic Indus Valley civilization has any impact in the current societies, like that, right? We can think, because if the urban planning is still relevant, then the social aspects, cultural aspects is also relevant, right? So let's see if this is helpful. Read this question. What are the main feature of Vedic society and religion? Do you think some of the feature are still prevailing in the Indian society? See the linking. So we are able to basically pick up, or we can just solve any question in the UPSC mains after analyzing the previous year's question, right? Then the third topic, the fifth question, climate change के ऊपर है. On the climate change in the geography, I had one theme prepared based on the question asked in the 2017. Impact of climate change on the Himalayan and coastal state. 2017 mein this question was asked, right? How this is relevant? In 2023, let's see. Comment on the resource potential of long coastline of India and highlight the status of natural hazard preparedness of these areas. This is a bit of indirect question, but let me ask you one thing, right? If you, while impact of climate change on Himalayan coastal state, while preparing the notes on this theme, I am asking you a very genuine question. In your notes, don't you think you will be writing some way forward or suggestions? Yes, you will be. And that will be, or don't you think you will be preparing note on the preparedness? Yes, you will be making the notes of this while and researching on this topic, while making the notes, right? Because suppose impact of climate change on the Himalayan and coastal state. If this is a theme you have, you go on the Google, you will search, right? You open any document. So in that document, the impact will be given, and after impact, there will be some solution, preparedness also. उस document में खाली इतना ही नहीं लिखा होगा, right? So from here, you will add the points in your notes. And from here, notes, this question can be solved. That is, this question. Comment on the resource potential of, resource potential is a bit of different question, but even I have seen this question somewhere definitely. Okay, because I cannot show you each and every question, but 10 to 15 question I am going to show you directly, right? Then at least second question you can write properly. Then the next question is production, storage, transport, marketing, agriculture, credit, right? This is the question. GS paper 3 ka question hai, right? Now in this question, basically what we are going to see, many students have asked me, sir, this approach is very good as far as GS paper 1 is concerned, because GS paper 1 is static, right? So we can predict the question. However, this topic is not this approach may not be relevant for the GS paper 2 and 3. So I'm going to burst that myth also here. Because even in GS paper 3, GS paper 2, you need to understand, student, the basic will remain basic, right? Only the reference will change, right? Only the current affair, basically current affair hai kya? You need to understand. Current affair is just a reference. You read the current affair magazine, right? You read the editorial. Does it help you to write or frame the entire answer of the question? Answer is no. So there has to be link between the current affair and the GS. If you are relying only on the current affair, trust me, you will not be able to score a good marks. You will not be able to attempt all the demand of the question. That is for sure, right? So if that is the reason why I'm always emphasizing more on the previous year's questions, I'm telling you how you should be preparing the notes step by step, right? So comment on the resource potential of the long coastline. This question can be solved. Now look at this topic: production, storage, transport, marketing, agriculture, credit. From this topic, basically what I have done, I have prepared these themes, right? there are approximately 7-8 themes, right? So in, see, 1984 का question है. This is, UPSC has asked the question in 1984. India requires 225 million tons of food grain by end of 20th century. Briefly discuss the element of a strategy of agriculture growth that can ensure an increase in the food grain output to meet the projected demand. So basically what we are talking about here, in this question, what we are talking about, we are basically talking, like the theme is elements of the strategy for agriculture growth that can ensure an increase in the food grains output to meet the demand. This is the theme I have extracted, right? 1984, from the 1984 question. Now, then the second question, relationship between the credit availability, agriculture and agriculture growth in India. This is the second theme, right? Now, let's see, 1984 ka question is still relevant or not, right? Let's see this. 2023 mains question. From being net importer, food importer in 1960, India has emerged as a net food exporter to the world. It says food, not agriculture commodity, but yes, agriculture commodities can also be the part, will also be the part, apart from the processed food, right? The agriculture is also going to be the context in this question. So, when you will be making the notes, elements of a strategy for agriculture growth, don't you think you will be writing the government policies? You will be talking about the challenges, right? You will be talking about the steps implemented by the government or recommendation. Definitely, right? So from these themes, at least I can solve this question. Trust me, student, if you have prepared even 50% of the topic from which the UPSC has asked the question, you can score very good marks. Many students who have given the mains, they had no clue. At least in 10 question, no clue means ऐसा नहीं कि topic was from a different subject altogether. No, but they had no idea what should be the what are the content they need to write, right? So, but at least if you will have those themes, you can write a good answer. So see this question. This can be addressed. Then poverty and development issues, right? From poverty and development issues, I have framed these themes. Why are poverty alleviation programs not successful? These are the themes from the previous year's questions only. I cannot just, paste all the previous year's questions, how I have extracted the themes. So I have extracted, pasted only those questions from where the UPSC has asked the question in 2023 mains, right? So in this question, see, poverty, inequality, development nexus, problem of rising urban poverty and its implication. From 2008, I have extracted this theme. The condition of urban poor are more deplorable than that of their rural counterparts. So basically, the main theme of this question is urban poor, urban poverty. Yes or no? Right? So, when I will be making the notes, don't you think I will be covering this dimension which UPSC has asked in 2023? Does urbanization lead to more segregation and marginalization of poor in Indian metropolises? Because in the answer or notes of the theme, this one, problem of rising urban poverty and its implication, don't you think you will be writing the causes? So urbanization is one of the causes, right? So that is how you have to prepare the notes. So this is basically, we are talking about the three phases, right? Like three phases in the preparation. Fourth phase, what I suggest to my students who are enrolled in the Sure Shot program, mains program, is how to divide these themes. the significance, challenges, way forward, so that direct question can come. Okay, so many queries we have received, but I will once let me complete this and then I'll address it. Okay. Okay, so students, let's begin with the next. Now I hope you will not ask that question, कितने साल के question refer करने हैं, because I have given you the proof. What else do you need? Tell me. 1984 के questions are still relevant. 1993 के questions are still relevant, right? But we don't want, everyone is looking for shortcuts. That is a problem. So it is my humble request from all of you, student, we have time, right? In Vajiram and Ravi, we have a good team. We are ready to provide every possible support to students, right? We are committed towards our responsibility, right? But the commitment is still, required from your side. And trust me, this can be the best approach you will ever going to hear from someone. No one is going to explain you a step-by-step process, how to break down the themes and all. So this is what I am going to show you. The fourth phase which is there in this process is dividing these themes further. That we are discussing in the session. Like there will be one-to-one session as well. So you can ask me, the mentors who are there, they will tell you how to think about the different themes from these themes, right? So let's move. Now dynamic part. Let's see how effective previous year's questions are when it comes to the dynamic paper. This is what I was talking about, right? Many people say, no sir, newspaper, we are just relying on the newspaper, right? I'm sure many of you guys, many mentors or YouTube channels are suggesting just focus on the current affair editorials for the GS paper 3. There is no need of anything. But again, I am going to burst that myth here, right? This is the question topic in GS paper 3, land holding, land sealing, land reform and contract farming, right? It is a part of agriculture economy. Now, after going through all these topics, the previous year's questions of these topics, I have found these themes. See, land reform measures, establish relationship between land reforms, agriculture productivity, right to fair compensation, contract farming and land leasing, right? 1983, from 1983 and from 2015, there were two questions which UPSC has asked. It was related to the land reform measures and it was related to the land holdings, right? And it is also related to the contract farming and land leasing, right? So these were the good questions actually, right? One was asked in 1983 and one is 2015. What I did, I broke down the question. I made the themes. See the themes? Land reform measures after independence, assess their success and failure. This is the demand of the question is. Establish relationship between land reforms, agriculture productivity and elimination of poverty in the Indian economy. These are the themes I have prepared, right? Now, yes, so these are the themes, right? Actually, I have picked up few themes right here. There were huge list because this is very hot topic for the UPSC, agriculture economy. So there are huge list, right? So because there are irrigation and all subsidies, MSP, from each topic there are more than 10 themes based on the previous year's question. So I have picked up important themes. So see, contract farming and land leasing, this was the question back in 2015, and even in 1993 we have land reform measures, right? Do see this question in mains 2023. State the objective and measures of land reforms in India. Direct question. Discuss how land ceiling policy on land holding can be considered as an effective reform under the economic criteria. Now, can you imagine how exactly the questions are being asked? Right? This is the power of analysis of previous year's questions. Student, try to understand how motivated you will be in the examination hall when you will know that you have covered the previous year's question themes of last 10, 20, 30 years. You have prepared the notes, you have done answer writing based on the previous year's questions, because that is what exactly we are framing in the Sure Shot Mains program. Our entire questions are based on the approach of UPSC. Right? There are so many tests, sectional test we have, full length test we have, then we also have a topic wise test. So the questions which we are putting up in the test paper is based on these themes only. And we are also mentioning from which themes we are preparing the questions in the Sure Shot, so that you will have the idea. Okay. And in pre-test discussion, I am personally I have discussed like these themes, how to prepare. Even on Telegram group, I am sharing these themes with the students whenever the queries come, whenever anyone gets stuck, right? So this is the question, right? Now let's see the next question. Medical biotechnology and related issues. So these are the themes I have picked up, okay, from the 7-8 questions. Now, see this question, 1985 ka question. Microorganisms have been harnessed by man for some time for the production of useful materials. Point out the important developments in this area. What is the current status microbial technology in our country? From after going through this question, I have got this theme. Microbial technology and its status in India, right? Now, see the question in discuss several ways in which microorganisms can help in meeting the current fuel shortage. Now just tell me one thing. If you know microorganisms are important topic, right? If you know microorganisms are important topic, on what aspects you are going to prepare the notes? The first thing is application. Yes or no? Then you will be talking about maybe the challenges, issues, then steps taken by the government, then way forward. This is how we prepare the notes, right? Otherwise, in your notes, obviously, you will not be filling up the pages with the definition, what is microorganisms, right? So, after making the notes on microorganisms, don't you think you will be able to write down the answer of this question? Because this question is directly from here, right? So, this is the thing. Now, let's see next question. Internal security. Okay, internal security, there are few topics, right? Like internal security, then disaster management, right? Then society, right? Then agriculture economy. These are low hanging fruits. I can guarantee you all the questions which UPSC will ask in the mains can be covered from here. Trust me, it can be, right? So this area you cannot ignore. Iske baad, whatever you want to do, it's your choice. For me, This is more than enough, right? Let's see the last question. Border security, challenges and management. This was the topic. I have made the themes like internal security, threats and trans-border. All these themes which I have written, many of you might be confused कि sir ये सारी themes कहाँ से ले आए? So basically these are all questions, okay, which UPSC has asked. So this question was asked in 2020. For effective border area management, discuss the steps required to deny local support to militants and also suggest ways to manage favorable perception among the locals. Right? From this, I have got this theme. Methods to manage and improve perceptions among local population. Right? This is the themes I have got from this question. Let's see how relevant is this. Winning of hearts and minds in the terrorism affected area is an essential step in restoring the trust of population. Discuss the measures adopted by the government in this respect as a part of the conflict resolution in Jammu and Kashmir. What is this? Heart and minds in the terrorism affected areas. Winning the heart and minds. मतलब लोगों का confidence. You need support from the local population, and that is what the theme basically I have extracted from the previous year's question. Right? Now, many questions we have seen where UPSC has made some changes. यार उतने changes तो होंगे ही ना. Obviously, like UPSC cannot just pick up the question, copy and paste it, right? But you need to understand one thing, student. When you will be analyzing these themes, right? When you will be analyzing these themes, right? So you need to break down the themes as well, right? For example, so let me summarize everything quickly. First step is basic reading. Second phase rather should be breaking down the syllabus. Breaking down syllabus into topics. Then refer previous year's questions for this topic. Then break down the previous year's questions and make the list of themes. And the last process is break down the themes itself. Because if this is the step which will give you notes, value addition, then you can also use diagrams, flowchart in your notes, right? You can have, you can say quick revision is possible, last moment. Right? So see, this is what I have told you. One solution for all the problem. Right? One solution for all the problem. And this is the solution. Now it is up to you whether you want this process or whether you want shortcuts. Right? Whether you want shortcuts, there are shortcuts की कमी नहीं है. But ultimately, this shortcuts, after 3 years or 4 years, you will realize this was the actually you have taken a wrong direction. Right? So we still have a lot of time for 2025. This is the right time we should start with the answer writing. Short mains is the best, you can say, the opportunity for everyone For first 30 students, we are going to offer scholarship. Okay. We are already have received so many queries. The program has already been launched. The new batch we are going to start from 30th of June. So don't delay. And for any other queries, student, try to, if you are in Delhi, you can come to the office, or either you can fill the form given in the description box. And definitely we are going to deal with the queries, right? So this was all about this session. And last part, I will just brief, which I have forgot to mention, that is current affair. Current affair wala part, right? How to link. Now, quickly, it will not take more than 5 minutes. Suppose you are, just let's pick up any topic, right? Suppose this is a topic, microorganism wala topic, right? What you need to do, suppose tomorrow you are going to start with this topic. You are going to analyze this previous year's question, right? So after analyzing the previous year's questions, the first thing which you will get is these themes, right? That is one thing. Second thing is, you need to refer your current affair magazine. You need to refer your own notes maybe, or videos which you will be watching, or which you refer for the current affair. But let me tell you one thing, you may not get anything related to microorganism. So the best way is, quickly, it will not take much time. Go on the Google, search for microorganism or development related to microorganism, right? Go to the news section. News ke section mein jao. You will just pick up top 5-6 news. And you will get the context here. What is the context? So sometime you will see microorganisms. Some news you may get microorganisms are being used for the fuel, right? Sometime you may get microorganisms are being, used for the waste management. Just quickly write down the themes. So on one side, basically what you can do, you can basically prepare the themes at 2 levels. One, previous year's question themes, and you can club with current affair themes. Now, once you will have these themes, I am asking you a question, student. Do you think the source is going to bother you? हम लोग परेशान हैं सोर्स के लिए. 90% of our energy is getting wasted in the source only. So far, did I mention the source? You should refer this and that. That is not the valid question. The question and answer is this. If you know what to read, what to learn, from where to learn will not be a problem in this world. हम लोगों को यही नहीं पता है. And we directly jump in the ocean to find the content. But what to find, we don't know. So obviously you are going to get lost in the ocean, right? I hope you are trying to understand. So student, this was all about the session, and if you have any queries, please feel free to ask me. I think I was able to explain all the concept. I was thinking there will not be any queries, but still, let me check. Yes, Shashank, the mentorship will be provided. Will we get the PDF in Sure Shot test series? Which PDF? Please mention. Yes, in Sure Shot mains program, we are giving workbook. And this workbook is based on the previous year's question. Means the workbook mein basically kya hai? Workbook have the content. Content means the content of these themes basically. Right? But according to the demand. Not like demand means this workbook will be given to every student who are going to enroll, but this is we have compiled the workbook in a very concise manner, right? Because these themes which I have written down, after when you will start looking at these themes, you will find the answer of these themes will get fit into here, and it will get fit into here. It's like that, right? So yes, the content is there. So shall I refer the previous year's question from very beginning? Dragon. Okay, so I think already explained the phases. Phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1 basic reading, and after that you can pick up the previous year's questions. Otherwise you will not be able to extract these themes if you have not done the basic reading. Okay, then Superman, how much is scholarship? Please fill the form. The form is already, the link will be, the scholarship link will be shared with everyone. It will be in the digital format. Ujjwala, there are no classes as like classes. This is the part of mains test series. The pre-test, the classes, if you are asking, so there will be classes like pre-test discussion. Pre-test discussion, I am mostly focusing on the themes. It is a theme-based, where I will be if suppose there is a test on climate change or few other topics in the next week. So in pre-test discussion, we will discuss what are the important themes, previous year's questions ke basis pe. So in pre-test discussion, it happens like 7 to 10 days before the exams, and then there will be a post-test discussion. Post-test discussion in the same week. Okay, so yes, there will be 2 classes. Yes, one-to-one mentorship is there. I am the core mentor for that program. So after writing the test, you will be talking with me. And trust me, student, this program, Sure Shot program, is not only the answer writing. Lot of things are covered, from starting from the content, then previous year's questions. The questions in the test series are based on the previous year's questions, pre-test discussions, post-test discussions, then mentoring sessions, one-to-one with me and the team. Then we have topper session, then the sessions from by the Sajal sir. There are so many things, right? For CSAT 2025, like, we have a lot of time. Don't worry about that. Pre-test discussion will be live, like offline and online. Whatever the test discussions we are going to, the taking place, they are both online and offline. Okay, students, so thank you so much for watching and joining the session with me. I'm going to end this. Again, in the next video, I'll be, in the next session, I'll be coming with such valuable inputs. And if you have any queries, please do not forget to fill the form given in the description box. And if you are in Delhi, you can also come to the office and we can have word and we can understand how we can help you. Okay, thank you so much, student.